Do you enjoy chilling tales and terrifying stories? Then step into the darkness with Cryptwink HQ. Watch more spine-tingling horror stories now. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon before it's too late. This happened back in the fall of 2019, around late October. I was 28 at the time, living in Springfield, Missouri, working as a freelance graphic designer. My hours were pretty irregular, and sometimes I'd take late-night drives just to clear my head, usually with no destination. Just me and some music on a quiet stretch of road. One night, I decided to drive out toward Route 65, which is about 20 minutes outside of town. It's a rural stretch of highway. Dark, 2 lanes, no real lighting, except for the occasional high beams from passing cars. I had a lot on my mind that night and didn't even realize how far I had driven until I passed a faded sign for a place called Warsaw. That's when I figured I should probably turn back. As I was getting ready to pull a U-turn at a quiet spot near a closed gas station, I saw someone on the side of the road, just standing there. I normally would never stop for someone like that, especially at night, but something about this guy made me pause. I don't know if it was guilt, curiosity, or just plain stupidity, but I rolled the window down a few inches. "You headed somewhere?" I asked, keeping one hand on the wheel. He leaned down and said, "Yeah, just need to get to Lebanon. My car broke down." That was about 45 minutes in the direction I had come from. I didn't want to leave him out there, so I reluctantly unlocked the passenger door. He climbed in without saying much and just nodded a quiet thanks. As soon as the door shut, I had this weird jolt in my gut, like my instincts were screaming at me. But it was too late. I was already driving. We rode in silence for the first 10 minutes. I glanced at him a few times. He didn't smell like alcohol, wasn't fidgeting, wasn't talking either. He just stared out the window. It was the way he sat, though perfectly still, with his hands flat on his thighs, like he was rehearsing being normal. I tried to break the silence. "You said your car broke down?" He nodded slowly. "Yeah, engine just gave out. Couldn't get a signal out here." I didn't press further, even though we both knew there was decent reception on that road. Then I noticed something strange. His backpack. It looked heavy, like it was stuffed with something dense, and it had a weird stain on the bottom, like dried rust or something worse. A few more miles down the road, he asked, "You ever picked people up before?" His voice was calm, but the way he asked it made the hair on my neck stand up. "No," I said, "not really." He chuckled. "Smart. Lot of crazies out here." I nodded. "Yeah, guess I'm taking a risk tonight." He just smiled and said, "So am I." I kept my eyes on the road after that. My hands were sweating on the wheel. I turned the music off. It was dead quiet now, except for the hum of the tires. About 10 minutes outside of Lebanon, I noticed something even stranger. I looked over at the passenger seat, and he was gone. Just gone. No sound, no door opening, no sensation of movement. I slammed on the brakes so hard, I nearly swerved off into the shoulder. I jumped out of the car, heart pounding, and opened the passenger door. Nothing. Not even the smell of someone having been there. His bag was gone too. I looked around, used my flashlight app to scan the area. But the highway was empty. Dead quiet. No cars, no lights. Just cold wind. I stood there for a full minute, completely frozen. I had no explanation. There was no way he could have gotten out without me noticing. I didn't even hear the door. No chime, no shift in weight, nothing. I got back in the car, locked the doors, and sped the hell home. I didn't stop until I hit Springfield's city limits. Even then, I drove around for another 20 minutes, too afraid to go home, too freaked out to think. I told a few friends about what happened, and they laughed it off, saying I must have zoned out or imagined it. But I know what I saw, or didn't see. And for the next few nights, weird things started happening. I'd hear knocking at my door at 3 a.m., but when I'd check, there'd be no one there. Once I found my car door wide open in the morning, even though I was sure I'd locked it. Another night, I woke up to find muddy footprints leading from my front door to my bedroom window and stopping right there. There were no prints leading away. I eventually moved a few months later. Too many sleepless nights, too much paranoia. I looked up missing person cases from around that area, thinking maybe I could find a match. But there was nothing. It was like he never existed. But here's what really gets me. A few weeks ago, I was on Reddit, browsing a thread about strange encounters on highways, and someone from Arkansas commented with a nearly identical story. Same hoodie, same road, same man vanishing mid-ride. Except their story happened in 2003. Whatever I picked up that night, it wasn't just a stranger. And sometimes I wonder if I brought something back with me. Even now, every time I drive alone at night, I find myself checking the rearview mirror a little too often. And sometimes, I swear I see him sitting there, just for a second, before he's gone again. Like he's waiting for another ride.